I mean, if you ask me, I have to pick EG because I'm from NA.
Okay, I'm going with Spirit for sure then.
But I think the draft is pretty good.
You gotta give Spirit credit. The draft, like you guys said, looking pretty good. And then on top of that, they've already created an upset here by starting things off with at least a draw. At very least, they're going to be able to get a draw. If they get it 2-0, how many ripples is that going to throw throughout the entire group stage? We're going to be jumping into the game right now, and we're going to see if they can keep this upset going or if EG is going to be able to knot it up.
I'm dead.
Are you guys gonna play the game?
Welcome aboard Tiny Airlines. Do not fasten your seatbelts.
Right, Lacoste, on the one hand, we've got a lot of circles, the Venn diagrams from TSpirit, my favorite kind of draft. But EG with a lot of disengage, the Timber, the PL, the Storm, ways to escape from the circles and bisect them.
Yeah, this lineup from EG is very good at going in and out of the fights. They want to just keep repeating that with the Phantom Lance, reset. Same goes for Storm Spirit. Then you have a heal coming out from the Phoenix, Timber, so in and out, one of the best heroes to do so, and not relying too much on the cooldowns. The only big cooldown you have is Phoenix Supernova and the Finger. Yeah. Even without that, EG's lineup can pretty much keep fighting all the time. History might repeat itself one more time. Position for Tiny. I just don't like the hero. I just feel the whole potential of the hero is being wasted. You're using 2 out of 4 abilities, pretty much.
What's the kind of idea behind that? Is it that mid-Tiny just gets to items faster and you use the magic damage earlier game and it feels better because position 4 Tiny is a bit more delayed, or?
Position 4 Tiny, like, he soaks up a lot of farm, a lot of safe farm, because if you don't get a lot of early kills, you need to give him a lane to farm a Blink Dagger. Especially if the game slows down, he will need to be taking up the farm, let's say, Dire tier 2 tower. This is where he wants to get his Blink Dagger up because it's kind of a secure space to farm, especially if it's warded up.
Also, very importantly, the panel is bringing up the catch factor onto the Storm Spirit, where Tiny is pretty much the only reliable way to catch Abed when he is on this Storm Spirit.
They have a Disruptor. I love that position 5 that they picked as a last pick. Grimstroke got banned out with the Disruptor. It's kind of a CIS classic where it provides you long-range reach. He's out of mana, glimpse back into the Static Storm. No one likes to play into that. You can't really itemize. I want to see what his item build is gonna be this time around, but BKB feels like a safe choice. Maybe even a second item when you're playing against the Disruptor. Tiny, even Gyrocopter. It's a ton of magical damage. Looking at the off lane, Ice should have a pretty good time. There is a lot of harassment early on from Gyrocopter. Rocket was one of the best spells early on in the game, Thunderstrike. So you need to be careful about that. One of the reasons why he brought a bit more regen, 6 tangos plus a healing cell, and also decided to get a Timber Chain. Playing into 2 range heroes, you don't get too much value out of it.
And especially with Crit backing him up, he's always got that disengage with the Earth Spike, able to catch up with Poshka or Yatoro. Also the fact that we know that Timber Saws like to be left alone, level 3, level 4 or so, and Lion could look for those rotations into mid, where, as AUI was saying, as we've mentioned before, this Storm Spirit matchup against Templar Assassin, it can look very even, but some of the times we see that level 3, level 4 from Storm, get the Vortex under tower, kill the TA off, and it snowballs out contention from that point. If you add in a Lion to the mix, you've got another stun, and a real good kill threat.
Toronto Tokyo using these side blades nicely. 4 hits in a row. Dealt damage to Abed. Doesn't have bottle yet. Meanwhile, Abed does, so he can go and pick up one of the side runes.
Double deny there coming through from Abed off of 1 Vortex. Wonderfully done.
Needs to be careful. Toronto Tokyo playing it really well, just protecting the top water rune. No one's making a move to the bottom. Abed will just go there and refill it.
Yeah, needs to do so. And then down in that bottom lane, we have seen the Mars, the Tiny, tossing the Phoenix around. Difficult early days for Fly. Very squishy hero, could get caught out by some stuns. But Phantom Lantern so far has had a pretty good early laning stage, guarded by that Phoenix. As there goes the initial burst of damage onto Fly, just chipping away at EG a little bit there. 12 and 6 on the Mars, trying to rack up a fair number of denies. But the problem begins top lane already. Ice level 3. Dragging wave around, and this is where that Lion can start to maneuver himself in towards that mid lane or around the rune spawns. Crit though, under vision. Radiant wall there that we see, and a Dion up on the high ground will spot out the Lion's movements. Templar Assassin right now. Starting to fall behind, hasn't really had the opportunity to go and farm the small camp, which we quite often see from these Templar Assassins in the mid lane. Very much having to play the straight 1v1 lane matchup. And it's also blocked up by a sentry camp. Thank you, Observer. That's another good reason why he's not been able to do it.
Oh, very smart. You know, something that you don't expect, but we talked about pretty much the same thing, actually. Is that ward in? It's in. So EG and TSpirit both blocked the small camp. It's being pinged out. Not getting more farm than what you get from the lane.
Yeah, super important against both of those mid laners. Tiny gonna have to run it back. I don't know if he's brought some more regen out to him. It was very awkward for that Tiny to stick around with. No real mana pool there to play around with as Abed deals the water rune, but mirrors Tiny, rotating in with a toss. Does get the mango for the avalanche, and Abed taking a lot of damage from the right click.
Tiny needs to be careful.
Here comes
Another
Crit.
pull could make a kill.
Dive forward, you're right, and flies on top of it. Body blocks up the Tiny. Mirror dragged back with a vortex, hexed and slain. First blood for Abed.
Not just that, he's also going to be picking up the enemy bounty rune. TP's back to the mid lane. And also a water rune. Can he get it? Toronto Tokyo is already there. Chris.
Still dangerous. Toronto Tokyo. The refraction charge is going to be burnt on cooldown. 8-1, one fairy fire. The damage coming thick and fast. Miposhka rotates in to try and save the TA, and so will Tiny with an avalanche. Looking for Abed with a toss, but Abed's fast enough to run it back, while Toronto Tokyo is being burnt alive here. But the top up to him, and the refraction comes back up again. Still being burnt down by Fly with a dive, and the fiery spirits. They kill the TA in the end.
Tiny, he needs to get this kill. Earth Spike ready in a second. Crit, can he deny himself? He cannot. At least he gets a free TP. If he denies himself there, needs to spend 100 gold. Nicely done by EG. They rotate both of the supports. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Arteezy, he needs a cell. Someone needs to TP there and bring him a healing cell. Ice on the top lane feels pretty secure. Just having a ring, 2 points in reactive armor, going straight into good. No shenanigans. My man, he knows that can't afford to... You know, I remember back in the days when players were so greedy. What if I get the mana boots, not even a casual cloak, and try to get the Bloodstone, first item?
Straight up. There's a stun. Chain disables. The support's rotating into that mid lane again, and they are snowballing this Abed storm completely. Shutting down that Templar Assassin, who was already struggling in the CS department. 17-4 on her. Well, Storm Spirit now 31-8, so pretty much doubling up on the CS.
EG just playing around Abed. First 6 minutes going for a bottle refill, securing the runes. He is level 6 now, and they can start putting some pressure on the tower. It's not going to be a lot of damage, but it's going to be some chip damage.
Yeah, because you mentioned that Arteezy would want a south bottom, right? PL is now pulling waves. He's alone, left completely isolated and deserted bottom lane. No one came down there because both supports TP'd mid. Crit brought a salve and bottle refilled Abed to keep that pressure and tempo up in the mid lane and forcing TSpirit to come into mid.
Keeping the catapult alive, dealing a ton of damage. Not what I expected. Zip available, goes across. Level 1 glimpse, not enough. They do not want to waste more time, and this puts off some pressure off PL, as you mentioned. Same goes for Timbersaw. They're getting the levels while keeping them busy on the mid lane. Once Arteezy gets level 6, he can easily just go to jungle. Collapse has that Arena of Blood available, but Arteezy juking in the trees.
Yeah, just doppelgangers away. Mirror, so far this position for Tiny. TSpirit to leave that Timbersaw alone up there because he's able to go and shove that tier 1 tower, open up the map for his team and start being that tanky nuisance.
I'm not sure how they kill Ice. Next, they need to bring numbers. They need Static Storm, Gyrocopter to drop the multiple rocket barrages and a cooldown to be able to kill him. Because right now, with that early hood, 7 minutes hood, has 7 stick charges, a bracer. I don't think he dies. Like, he should feel pretty safe for the next 10 minutes, pretty much.
It's like an impossibility. EG have also scouted out a stack being built up in that top jungle. Fly glimpsed back into the Gyrocopter's damage, can't dive away. Couldn't even cast his stick charges. Chain stunned perfectly. And they will defend their stacks, get a D-ward them. Miposhka making sure the vision from EG doesn't stay around in that aggressive portion of their own jungle. A crit onto Tiny. Guarding the 8-minute rune, it does spawn bottom though, a regen there for the TA, but a toss back into the gyro again, getting Yatoro involved. Storm Spirit's there with the Vortex, Tiny should get burst down, but Abed running pretty low, limited on mana. Oh no, he's
what
fine.
if they pop the mango straight away and gets on top of it? Bottle refill,
And
did
dodges.
it happen? It did. EG Fly manages to get it.
Is under attack.
Keep refilling it. This is something that they've done in the Singapore majors. Play around Abed whenever he's playing the Storm Spirit, and here it comes. One more bottle refill. He never needs to go back, and I like his itemization, what he's doing. I've seen a lot of Kaya Sign, Storm Spirit. He's not messing around. Going straight into Orchid. His next item probably going to be just a BKB to be able to have that sustain. They have no abilities whatsoever that go through magic immunity.
That safety against the circles as well. All of that team fight from TSpirit. It will be here soon, you know, Gyrocopter closing in on 6. We've got the arena like you mentioned. Static Storm will be up in the next minute or two.
Radiant's bottom
But EG
is under attack.
getting themselves out on the map once again. Abed stealing some stacks. 2 supports connecting with the Timbersaw top, while you mentioned the Phantom Lancer now, you know, level 6, so perfectly fine for him to go and jungle himself through towards that top lane. And a completely different story to game 1, where TSpirit were the ones very heavily reacting and very snappily getting into position to fight. It's been EG dictating exactly what the moves have been.
A bit of a different game, because previous game, Storm jumped on this position for Tiny, who is level 4. Doesn't contribute that much, uses Avalanche, still manages to die.
And a dominating streak for Abed, yeah, 4,600 net worth on him. That TA starting to catch up little by little, farming through the Ancients, clearing through whatever little stacks have been left to her as well.
Every single time you kill Templar Assassin, it feels like you kind of killed Meepo type of a hero who flash farms.
Tower is under attack.
It's not just the money you get from the kill, it's that 20-30 seconds where she's not farming, and you think about the GPM she's getting, like that's 400, 500 gold, maybe more with the stacks she's able to take down. More crippling the Templar Assassin very quickly.
And this is what I talked about. The tier 1 tower has fallen. You see Tiny top lane, tier 2 tower wants to get some farm, will soak up some of that easy farm, safe one. Not even gonna get the last hit, it's very hard. And they jump on Yatoro. And it's Ice's job now to come and play in the mid lane. Just very systematic from EG. From top lane and towards mid. Playing up these objectives and try and use some of their own ulti abilities here. Supernova, Finger of Death. They spot out a TP from Mirror. Tiny, straight up jump from Abed Storm. The Avalanche toss, the Static Storm, Spirit in the arena. Well done, onto Abed. Ice still pushing forward though. The Hex and the catch onto Collapse. Not coming up to finish him off. And Fly takes down Mirror's Tiny while Ice flies. And the Finger of Death. The Supernova lands. And sure, you killed the Storm Spirit, but the cost was dear.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Egg
popped off. Pretty much he was the only one who was trying to hit it. And then Finger comes. First Finger damage. 4 crit on top of it. They will get the tower. Ice's Ice is just not killable at the moment. And if he decides to get a Vanguard, I don't know how they kill him. Like, maybe it's a bit of an overkill if he wants to upgrade. Oh, Collapse.
Well, Fly trying a bit of a dewarding mission there. Unsuccessful in his attempts.
Glimpse ready, but it's only level 2, so out of reach, and it's also a Timbersaw, so no point to waste mana. Meanwhile, all this was happening. Arteezy gets the free gold from the tower, keeps farming the jungle, getting very close to his Diffusal Blade, just needs 400 gold. I wouldn't mind seeing Hood also on him, because there's a bunch of magical damage, like second item Hood on PL feels very strong.
Yeah, tank yourself up, allow your Phantom Lancer to actually get involved in these fights. We are still holding on though as TSpirit. Gyrocopter not looking too bad in the old net worth, but there it is, that catch on Storm. So vitally important they get that kill, but you lose out, what, 3 heroes in the exchange. Good Supernova, tier 1 tower's dead, and that Finger of Death right at the end onto Yatoro. Picking off the Gyro in the trade. Here I am! A good little fight from EG there, and all dictated by these catapult timings. Much smoother from them. And it's down to Spirit now.
TSpirit does not have a good hero against the Timbersaw. They don't have a Spirit Vessel carrier. They don't have a percentage-based damage. So he's gonna feel pretty safe. Like, this might be the game where Ice Eyes just ends up with 0 or 1 death in the end, no matter who wins.
That's easy. He's being pinged out. Has no idea this is coming, but he gets the doppelganger.
No!
The real one stuck
gets
inside the
stuck
static
again.
storm. Spear back and dead. The unfortunate situation for the Phantom Lancer where he spawns inside the field.
Doesn't matter if it's the high ground, if it's a cliff, he will always find a way to get stuck, Gary.
That's the Arteezy way.
Dire's top tower.
Good move though from TSpirit. You know, using these circles we've been talking about, getting on the board, finding core kills, and Collapse leading that charge. He is the carry right now there, team. Top of the net worth. And he has all of the abilities they need to pick off these more elusive targets in the Storm and the PL. Never feels like there's a rush for EG though, does it? It's always TSpirit scrambling to look for fights, trying to build up their items, catching up in this kind of game.
I saw a play from Nico when Execration was playing, when he used Branch to get out of the static field. Yeah, the static field, kinetic field. Could have possibly been done the same thing with the Ironwood tree there.
Ooh, could have been an idea, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure it works, but I believe it does. You know, we analysts, casters, you know what we say. I'm gonna reveal a secret. If you're not certain about something, you say, last time I checked it, it was working, or to be even more professional, like last time I tested it, to look like you're doing some extra work. And then you say, yeah, it worked.
I was in demo hero mode last night.
I spent whole night, didn't even sleep, was just testing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is how it's worked with like Sprout and Cogs, right? You know, like people trapped inside. If something hits their place, they have to get pushed out somewhere. Tiny gonna get pushed into the grave by the Storm Spirit, and that Phoenix yet again controlling that middle lane and that dire triangle.
That's the Orchid reveal for the Storm Spirit, so he can get easy pickoffs on the side lanes if someone wants to push. Panel talked about what the itemization for Mars in this game should be. Hood of Defiance into Yule Scepter, so you can survive through the initial burst, and also have that setup for the Storm Spirit. You have also a way of removing Fiery Spirits, removing that silence as well on top of it.
Man, Ice. You've kept saying he's going to be unkillable, and he might have 0, 1 deaths.
No, I don't think he dies. I don't think he should die at all. Now that seeing that Vanguard is up and that he's going for the Guardian Greaves.
Yeah, I saw that pick. I was like, okay, he's actually gone for it. Might be overkill, like you mentioned, but he can just do what he's doing now. He has sat mid for about 3 minutes, just pushing wave, making sure that there is no pressure at all on his own tier 1, and that leaves a complete wide open map for Arteezy with 150 CS. 16 minutes in, Diffusal Blade with a hood. EG should be feeling quite strong and ready to fight. But they don't need to force anything. They can just keep scaling, keep farming. You know, TSpirit eventually will want to come to you.
Whenever you have PL in the team and the matchup, the carry-to-carry matchup is good, you don't feel rushed. You don't necessarily need to go in and seek out the fights. It seems like it's just going to be a tier 2 for tier 2. Both teams playing with the catapults, a lot of damage coming onto these towers. TSpirit actually backing off. They only see Phantom Lancer on the top, so they are a bit worried.
That's a good point you brought up, and I think Lizard mentioned it as well. Gyrocopter against Phantom Lancer. And we've always thought historically that, oh, he's got AoE damage, he can clear illusions. But it's that double-edged sword, right? If the Phantom Lancer gets on top of the Gyrocopter, he doesn't really deal with the illusions that well.
Yeah, it's really not that great, especially once Phantom Lancer gets that tanky item, which most likely is going to be hard eventually. Then the damage output from Gyrocopter is really not noticeable.
Yeah, you can take the illusions down to like half HP and then they're all done for. And look at this. Timbersaw just TPs into the middle of 5 heroes, basically.
Thanks to Glimpse.
Glimpse back all the way to top lane again, so tier 1 should finally be claimed by TSpirit here as Evil Geniuses. They are putting themselves in a position to contest this. Are they on division? The TSpirit know this is coming. They spot out the Timbersaw. And they full on leg it away from that tier 1 mid.
Timbersaw is, I'm back, baby. I'm back on the mid lane. You glimpsed me. I'm ready to go in one more time.
You thought you got rid of me? So you know who I am.
Some damage dealt to tier 4 tower. 330. Not too bad. First Roshan still alive. Spear.
Phoenix. That's a target they can go for.
Not sure they needed a bit of an overkill there with the Static Storm.
And Abed farming away. Gets himself up to that Kaya now. But yeah, tier 1 mid still standing, and TSpirit struggling to get a firm grasp in this game. 3k lead starting to build up for Evil Geniuses. And again, is that situation where they really do just want to extend this game out. There's no panic, no rush.
Exercise just building up stacks inside the Roach Pit. Haste available, TSpirit will pick it up.
And then he's back into mid lane.
They tried. He tried to make something happen. It feels like EG wanted to do Roche, but realized maybe we don't have that much damage. Once Phantom Lancer joins, we have, but he was playing the top lane. So, a couple of seconds wasting, nothing too serious.
Where's the party?
There was this window where Arena was down for 60 seconds. Then it goes to Static Storm. Static Storm will be up in 30.
And we'll chip away at Roshan. Very fearful play from TSpirit though. They're scanning the bottom tier 2, pushing out with a Tiny. 2 heroes holding ramp in that bottom jungle. Gyro farming behind and TA in the Ancients. So Roshan completely uncontested, and TSpirit, one of the best Aegis carriers in the game, gonna have absolutely free reign in that next team fight. And now, execution-wise for TSpirit here, it has to be so spot on. This next team fight could just be the game-ending move.
Abed can't afford to go for more greedy items, especially now that he picked up the Aegis. It's not so much about the Aegis, it's about the neutral item. Found the Nether Shawl, something that Phantom Lancer likes to hold, but he went for a hood anyway, so they give it to the TSpirit, and now he can go into the Bloodstone, especially with Aegis being picked up.
And go straight into those late game items.
No need to get a BKB.
Nah. Kaya Sands coming up for your Timbersaw as well. So he's got that status resistance, all that tankiness which we've already seen from him. His presence on the map has been insurmountable. Sticking in that mid lane and making sure TSpirit have to make silly little moves like this. Backstabbing the tier 1 tower with a Tiny. One more hit from Mira. But he bought a Blink Dagger, so Tiny probably quite pleased with himself in that, as long as they don't lose any more. There's the Arena Spear catching out Crit. A 1-for-1 trade on the tier 1 grab by TSpirit. Collapse with a TP home though, now Disruptor. Do we get the escape out of here? I don't believe so. Phantom Lancer's on your tail. A 2-for-1, the tier 1 grabbed up by Spirit, but this is still EG gunning it straight down towards that dire base.
Phantom Lancer is getting huge. Good done, as we mentioned, now going into SNY. On top of the Imp Claw, so he deals a ton of damage. Ice Ice one more time. Not killable, they're completely ignoring him.
He's just a monument to tankiness right now.
It's the thing about the supports. Position 5 doesn't really do too much against the Timber. Neither does your position 4. Offlaner, he can't afford to get a Spirit Vessel. Position 4, it's pretty much always the same item build. You need that Blink Dagger to get on top of people. Position 5 will not get enough farm, and like even if you decide to get a Spirit Vessel, he will have a way of dispelling it because it comes down very late.
They've got to catch him with his stacks down, with like Meld Strike, everybody there.
I don't think it's enough, Gary. I actually don't think it's enough.
For even a chance then.
Yeah, right now he has Kaya Sanj, he has a Vanguard, Armor, Hood of Defiance on top of it, holding a Bracer, which gives him even more magic resistance.
Oh, he's toying with him now. He's just standing in front of their tier 2, holding the creep wave, keeping the push going while the rest of his squad, they're down bottom, they're farming triangle.
Hodl, wait. They can't touch him. He has 3,000 HP, effective HP. It's probably around 6,000, to be more honest.
Yeah, probably. And the fact that stuns just water up a duck's back. Don't touch him.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And a great spot here for EG to be in. Ancient stack built up for Arteezy. 2 tier 2 towers ready to be grabbed up by them in the mid and the bottom lane. And this first Aegis really has allowed them to take some pretty supreme map control, but it has to be said, TSpirit, they've kept that net worth lead at around 3k. They are still farming very nicely. TA's up there, close to where the Phantom Lancer is. Gyro hasn't slipped away, so they are starting to hit some of these important item timings themselves. Like the BKB on TA is going to be big for them.
TA has been slowed down. This is not type of a game that TA wants to play. She wants to be out there on the map, putting some pressure, possibly invading enemy triangles, getting some kills, also stealing Roshan from a TA lineup, always gonna feel good. I'm just watching at Ice. I'm not even moving my mouse, Gary, checking what he's doing. If they want,
Is that your therapy?
this is my therapy, exactly. I just chilling.
Nice mug of tea with a bit of honey in it, watching Ice Timbersaw.
I want to see if they decide to make a move on him. Like, he dies if they bring 5 heroes.
Well, they can move top instead. The start of the gyro, glimpse away. Abed sent off to the other side of the map. And crit is to a sacrifice from EG. While Mira getting caught up here by ISSI. Some good traps to slow him down with the Phantom Lancer. There with the Lance and the Sunray coming. Mira attempts the TP, but sliced and diced by Ice. Storm Spirit, the Yules into the spear setup. Abed caught with a couple of chain stuns with the homing missile coming through, but Yatoro needs that. Now we see reactive armor stacks for the Timbersaw. The most tanky talent choices from the Phantom Lancer. With that Skadi or the Heart, whatever it might be that you mentioned, only going to increase his tankiness.
Timbersaw still deciding, what do I want to buy? Wants that Guardian Greaves, but does not want to spend gold. So he's changing his item build quite a lot. Disassemble Kaya and Sanj, get the Bloodstone, have a Sanj, possibly upgrade to Heaven's Halberd against the Gyro, against the TA. Gotta be great.
Oh, he can disassemble his Vanguard as well, can't he, for that
Yes.
Vitality booster. That's so good. We'll see what he turns everything else into. We'll have like a Ring of Health and stuff like that.
This is something that pro players have been doing much more lately, just getting more efficiency from the items by disassembling.
This wrap around. TSpirit.
And there we go. And you
Feeling it. Yules into Spear coming. Standing Storm onto Arteezy with the field. The circles all overlapping towards the Phantom Lancer. Arteezy, he's going to doppelganger. He's still alive, and they turn on to Mipochka. Disruptor. And the Sunray heal allows the Arteezy PL to cruise through to this victorious fight for EG. Mira zapped on, zipped towards Abed. Will find the Tiny on the backside, and Tokyo is BKB to TP. They're on the run. They are moving back to their fountain. That was their aggressive move, and it just flounders, falls flat on its face.
Once EG gets a kill or two, and if egg is still available, they pop that egg, fight's completely over. They don't have enough attack speed to kill it. Templar Assassin is not gonna stand there, especially if BKB is down. Gyrocopter also forced to use an earlier BKB in the fight. Now we have a Bloodstone on the Storm Spirit complete. We have Phantom Lancer going for the Skadi that we talked about, and you have a Bloodstone on Timbersaw, also keeping this casual ring, so he disassembled Kaya and Sanj. It was enough, you know, he got something out of the item, he got 0 deaths from it, and a Bloodstone done, Heaven's Halberd done.
Dagon next, yeah? No.
Has Shiva's Guard.
No, Shivas, please. Lice, you know you want to buy a Dagon 5. Abed there, heading into Shiva's Guard as well, apparently. So we'll see if we have a bit of a switch up between the Timber and the Storm Spirit, both considering the same sort of itemization.
They like to toy with their items. That's the one thing that I noticed. I wouldn't mind seeing either a BKB or Aghanim Scepter. This is one of the best ways you can protect the egg with and just keep them in place. So both Timbersaw, it's a setup for a big spike for Lion, or Phantom Lancer to just deal damage with the illusions. Arteezy, we can see that he is burstable if it's executed properly, but there's a Sunray on top of him, plus a lot of damage that he can soak up. It's not, if he's caught alone, he's gonna die. You know, sometimes my analysis is really on point. If they lock him down for 5 seconds, he's dead. Very nice, Lacoste. Thank you very much. But if there's a team backing him up with the Sunray, with the like Timbersaw going in, possibly using Heaven's Halberd, 3 BKB, this is something they need to be very careful about.
So much more difficult for TSpirit. Because we were saying even, you know, 10, 15 minutes in, the execution from this dire squad, it has to be really perfect. So far, you know, the spell casting's been on point. It's just not been quite there in terms of where they are taking the fights. The positioning of EG has been one step ahead this time around. And Storm Spirit looking about to go on Tiny. But here's the Yule Spear. Abed getting caught out with a chain stun. Zerg spike onto Tiny. Abed with a bit of mana left. Gets over the arena with a glimpse back into the field. Catching out the Storm.
Big kill. 400 gold for Mira. Not the hero that you want to give it to, but It is what it is. Roshan will respond in a minute and 20 seconds. Tier 3 items starting to drop. Quickening Charm for TSpirit.
And Roshan a minute away. So Storm Spirit will be alive.
Radiant are scanning.
Radiant even scanning in the pit just to try and make sure there's no funny business happening over to that side of the map. And they're even smoking out here.
Arteezy would love to farm his Scotty, just needs 100 gold. There's already Courier in the secret shop, which is not secret anymore. We definitely need to change the name of that shop.
What do you want to call it?
Everyone knows about it shop.
A very well-known shop. Smoke into smoke. Everybody dance around the Roche pit. Toronto, Tokyo, getting some traps down as ISO-Size.
ISO-Size playing the previous patch, or you could scout things out in the Roche pit with Courier.
Doesn't work now. Flaps and Miposhka thinking about making a move, but yeah, yet again, it's a Timbersaw, boys. You can try, you can have a crack, but I don't think you're going to be able to take that man down.
Radiant's courier.
They want someone else. Courier will work. Plate mail gone. ISO-Size loses his Courier this time, and Roshan respawning in 1 second.
It's the only thing they can kill for ISO-Size. Hero cannot die.
Radiant's
Courier is pretty much the only thing.
Susceptible to death.
Dire's middle
Well, now
tower
Roshan is alive, but the trouble is here with this really interesting map setup is that TSpirit are in Radiant Triangle. They're defending Roshan.
While Fly is scouting things out with Fire Spirits inside the Roche pit just to make sure that they're not doing it.
EG are on your base. Tier 3's taking a lot of damage. Roshan now being attempted by TSpirit, it looks like. They're in the pit with a Meld Strike and minus armor. Roshan not dropping quickly enough though, and this is going to allow ISO-Size to move himself forward.
He has no
through the pit. You're right, he doesn't, but they're still going to get in here on top of him. Oh, crit with a Blink Hex. Finding the target with the Earth Spike. Big one that's coming, the Glimmer Cable biding the time of the Titan. Mirror might get a combo off. ISO-Size, he's still at half HP. You can't touch this map. He's too strong. Pops his Bloodstone and breaks the vision up on the high ground, making sure that TSpirit can't execute properly. Collapse him down. And Yatoro, he can't contend with the egg.
They need to get
high ground. They've got a TP home. Toronto, Tokyo's done for. Abed's onto the bars now. And TSpirit, they're all dead.
Even without any stacks, ISO-Size goes in, soak up pretty much all the damage. He was worried for a second, you know, maybe I can die, pops Bloodstone, Sunray on him. This is the second Roche Cheese Aegis plus Shard. Let's see who gets the Shard. Probably gonna give it to Phantom Lancer because his Shard feels really good, and that's exactly what they told Miposhka. We'll go for the Courier. Not gonna get it in the end. Not much damage. Glimmer Cape TP out. And right now, EG in full control of this game.
Yeah, they're strapped in. Seatbelt secured for them this time. 10,000 net worth lead. Like you say, with all that, the goodie bag from the Roshan pit. Making the situation for TSpirit look incredibly difficult to handle. ISO-Size stacks himself up a nice little double or triple wave there. Arteezy's on your tier 3 with a catapult top.
Dire's top
They will
tower has fallen.
open up this base. ISO-Size, he's under tier 4s. He's been a cheeky devil, isn't he? Hey, look at me. I'm a Timbersaw. I can do this. I can do that. You can't do anything to me.
Gotta get them all those stacks, 30 reactive armor, back into tier 4s.
Go on then.
Nope, now back into tier 4s.
Static Storm, Melt Strike. Timbersaw, half HP. Doesn't give a bloody damn about that damage control. He just can't be touched. Alright, Ray, glimpse of it. Another spear back. Timbersaw, I'm dying. Timber's dying. Oh, they got him. ISO-Size finally falls. Now Arteezy will lose the Aegis. TSpirit, they hold on. But dear hope around that tier 4 towers. Arteezy used up again. A nice arena spear. This is TSpirit fighting back, defending their high ground as Fly. Huge Deso hit there. Nearly clear to the Phoenix, but Mira the toss up. There's Supernova gonna come down. In comes Abed. Big Red Death zapping down onto the TA, and they will get Toronto, Tokyo. Now they come back in full force with ISO-Size's second life.
I think they will try to take one more fight possibly if EG doesn't go and try to end the game on tier 4 towers. Like Ice was going with them. He went in, tanked a lot of the damage, and nice execution from TSpirit. First the spear into toss back into the static storm. Zip. 50 seconds.
Your spear maybe. Kinetic field there. They can't touch Abed now.
No buybacks on both cores, so they can clear enough the tier 4 tower.
Spear back to Fountain. Don't get him in there. Abed running low on mana though. Tier 4's still looking reasonably healthy here. EG have taken 2 lanes of barracks, but I think EG have time.
Respecting these abilities that can move you out of your position. The only one that they lack is Magnus. You have a Tiny, you have a Spear, you have a Glimpse as well, so need to be very careful how you're going to approach. Tier 4 tower still alive.
Just 1 lane to go into now though. TSpirit having to deal with the super creeps coming in from 2 different sides. So potentially a little bit more breathing room for TSpirit. The fights, when they get them up to tier 4s, look pretty decent. Glyphing up towers, getting all that build damage out, all their circles landing. There are just so many targets that EG have out on the map that TSpirit can't really contend with. I guess you can start thinking, the buyback on Ice, if he does die again, could signal some worries here for Evil Geniuses.
I wouldn't be too worried. Phantom Lancer going into Heart, tanking up the illusions even more. Here I am! TSpirit has Aghanim Scepter done on top of Ceremonial Robe. You want to get this item when you're playing TSpirit. You get the level 20 Talent, you get that Ceremonial Robe, status resistance, and magic resistance down by 10%.
So good. So do you think Ice is going to be telling RTZ, hey, you've got buyback, go save up money for it. Go and do what I just did. Stand on the tier 4s.
Are you guys gonna play the game?
They might do it, yeah. Ice, will respect the damage coming out from it, will not do the same thing again. Set of barracks down, now knocking on the last one.
And RTZ just frontlining. So tanky, 4,000 health. And a Lotus Orb to back him up. Ice does finish off that nice buff up item.
Ice. They got it. Yes. Look at him, professional esports player. Not diving tier 4 towers.
He's pressing his buttons, boys. He's cutting waves. Making sure this is all too easy for RTZ. Tossing illusions around, Mirror there, trying to chip away at the Phantom Lancer, but again, Sunray with Heart. Collapse will miss out the spear with a great doppelganger dodge. Yatoro first, all his mana down at 3 or 14. The pull in from Abed, slicing through the Gyrocopter. Double buyback comes from TSpirit now, but the focus on Collapse blows him up with a figure of death, and it's a 4 versus 5, and Evil Genius runs them all over. The bulldozers arrive as Ice sprints towards the fountain and forces the GG.
Much better execution from EG after calling out the good game 22 minutes in game number 1. They managed to